welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be completing the 40% rear seat delete in my 2019 Toyota Tacoma. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is what we did in part one. This is the 60% rear seat delete. We have access to the bottom here as well. Very stable, very clean. We use 10 series extruded aluminum and bamboo 1/2 inch top ply. We've got the 12-inch L-track here. This thing's very secure, very sturdy. I can move the whole truck with it. It's utilizing the factory OEM seat brackets there. So yeah, now we're going to be working on the 40% seat delete here. So guys, what we're going to be doing for this 40% seat delete is we're going to use a piece of 10 series of aluminum extrusion. We are going to make a mounting bar off of here, and then we're going to go ahead and build off that mounting bar. So first things first, let's go ahead and get that mounting bar installed here on the OEM factory bolt locations. So I'm only going to be having this whole thing secured off of these two bolt locations. So if I ever want to take this out, it'll take me about 5 minutes to take the whole rear seat delete out, and then I can install my seats if I ever want to use them again. So it's very simple and easy. So guys, this is going to be my mounting bar here. I've got this pre-cut already. I've got my T-nuts in the bottom here, then I've got some T-nuts on the top. So what I'm going to do is come from the bottom here first. We're going to put this on top of those OEM seat mounts, and we're going to go ahead and run some 1/2 inch quarter 20s with some washers underneath these brackets here. So now that we have our mounting bar installed, they got some T-nuts on the top there. Everything's going to come off of here, so we're going to go ahead and build the structure off here and make sure everything's square off of it. So guys, this is kind of my idea here. I just kind of quickly assembled everything. It's not completely built, everything's nice and loose. I just kind of wanted to get a rough idea of how I wanted to build this. And then we're going to try to fit this inside of there if all my measurements are correct. So basically what we're trying to do is these angle brackets, or these corner brackets, are going to sit right on that mounting bar, and we're going to have this 1/2 inch quarter 20 go into that T-nut in the mounting bar, and everything's going to sit off the mounting bar. And then I'm probably going to tap these quarter 20 little legs in here, so if I need to adjust this when I have it in the truck, make sure everything's level. And then I've got the bamboo is going to be sitting flush in here. That's why we got those retainer clips right here. So these retainer clips are going to be mounted just like this. So when you stick the 1/2 inch ply in there, the 1/2 inch ply should sit just level with the extruded aluminum. And then these guys are all mounted with some little corner brackets on the inside. These are pretty inexpensive on Amazon. You can get these on Amazon or tnuts.com. So all my shelves will be adjustable. If I want to move the shelf up or down, I can do that. And then I got these little caps as well. These are off Amazon. Other than that, yeah, we'll try to throw this in the truck here. I just got to cut a couple more pieces here. And then, like I said, this is just kind of like a rough, this maybe took me 15-20 minutes just to assemble. So guys, I didn't want to show you the whole process of building this just because it's really boring and everything's done the same way. So I'm going to show you how I did it. This is how you do the whole thing here using these corner brackets. So you got these little set screws here, so you want to put the set screws in these little corner brackets. So I'm going to be putting this piece here, right? So real simple, real easy. All you do is you slide this one in here, and then you just drop it into place and tighten up those set screws. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So now that I've got my corner brackets started here, I've got them in both sides. I'm going to go ahead and drop this into the slots and then tighten up those set screws. Like I said, this is the exact process that I used for the whole build here. So once you see this, you'll know how to build it. So guys, what I'm doing, since I'm just kind of rough setting this in, you know, nothing's set for sure just yet. I gotta make sure I test fit everything. But I'm definitely going to be using the blue Loctite non-permanent. I know it's in a red bottle, it's kind of confusing, but this is blue Loctite. You got to use just a tiny little bit when assembling this again. So I haven't used any just yet. Like I said, this is a really rough fit. I'm going around making sure everything is square here. I'm using this square, making sure everything is completely square before we get it in the truck, and then I'll double check all my square. And I'm trying to see where I want my shelves to be exactly, or at least this first level. Trying to make it pretty low. It should be about a 10-inch opening in the bottom, and then it should be about a 12 to 11 from the top of this shelf to the bottom of the top shelf. So and I've got these little caps here. You can purchase these off Amazon. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to raise up these guys just to match it in line with the caps so the caps don't stick up at all. And then again, the bamboo is going to sit flush, so make sure everything on the top's nice and flush. And guys, when it comes to keeping everything nice and square here, I went around, double checked, triple checked, everything was square. I still got to make a couple adjustments down here in terms of the height to match the rest of the height for the shelf. But definitely what you want to do is get yourself a good aluminum blade here. So this is a aluminum 56 tooth 7 1/4 blade specifically for aluminum. So I ordered one off Amazon and it was absolute junk. The teeth cracked, or they chipped out. The cutting edge just was destroyed on the first cut. I've been using this for the whole entire build on my truck. So I did a full interior build in the Tacoma there. If you guys are interested in that video, I got a full 4-part series there on that build on the interior, and I used that blade for the whole build, so it's still holding up good. And then if you use those Amazon cheap blades, it just does not cut square. It's just kind of jaggedy on the edge, whereas these are nice straight cuts. As long as your ends of the aluminum are nice and straight, they should go together pretty tight and well. And then these corner brackets work pretty well to keep it square. Alright guys, so one solid piece of advice I have for you guys since completing this 40% build. These corner brackets off Amazon are not very good. What happens is you kind of lose a little bit of square using these. I would highly recommend, which I'm going to be using, all the corner brackets from T-Nuts. They're much more durable, they're more solid, and the square seems to be just perfect. They're a lot thicker. They're almost double the thickness of these too as well. So I would definitely go with the corner brackets off T-Nuts. Do not get the cheap Amazon brackets. So now we're going to be tapping this hole here for this 1/4 20, so I can put these little legs in the bottom just so I can have some micro adjustments on it. So remember, when you're tapping, I want to use a little lubricant. I use WD-40. So I'd say about a full turn, turn and a half, and then a 1/4 turn. You want to break those chips out of the cutting edge. In my tap, I have tapped a lot of holes with this thing. I can see it's starting to get a little bit weak. I need to get another tap. Sometimes you can just take it out completely just to clear the chips out, because you do not want to, or I do not want to, break my tap. Alright guys, so at this point I've got my legs here. I've got those stops. I may or may not keep these in. We'll see if I'm going to need them or not, just so I can adjust it. Everything's nice and square. I've got my shelves adjusted where I want to. So now we're going to take these angle brackets here and we're going to set it right on top of our mounting bar. So we're going to go ahead and get this hooked up here now. So I've got it in there now. So you can see I haven't had this mounted down yet, but you can see this is where it's going to be mounted to the mounting bar here. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and get that mounted now. Guys, this is what we got so far. So as you can see, I put those little legs in there. Just got it adjusted just a little bit. This leg is a very tight fit. Fits almost perfectly in there. The shelf is a nice, I can probably put a toolbox in there. It's maybe like 10 inches or so. This is like 12 inches. Then you got the top too as well. So yeah, the mounting bar, or the bracket there, came out really solid, real nice. So it's about time to get the bamboo ply cut out and installed on here. I'll probably put my panel retainers in real quick, and then I'll go ahead and cut out my bamboo and be done with it. I did think about putting a drawer in this bottom here. I think would be really cool. Could also do a full drawer here on top. I could do a half drawer. So what I'm going to do first is I'm probably just going to cut out my bamboo, see how I like it, and then toy with the idea to possibly putting in a drawer. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe I'll make another video of a drawer. So guys, now we're going to be installing these panel retainers that I got off T-Nuts. So the way you want to install these is, this is a through hole for the 1/4 20, and then this is where this is a threaded spot here where the 1/4 20 will be able to thread into from the wood. So we're going to install these underneath here. So we're going to get after it. So So guys, when you're installing these little roll-in T-nuts, pretty easy. So guys, I haven't been having the best luck with my circular saw. That Ryobi thing's junk. Need a Milwaukee or something, but I'm gonna go ahead and use this jigsaw, and then I put up a little straight edge to be able to follow. So I'm gonna see how this goes. Alright guys, so we just cut out our bamboo 1/2 inch. I'm gonna give it a test fit. Perfect. And I decided to go with the grain in this direction just to match the other seat delete. It looks pretty good. I like it. So I'm gonna try the top piece. See if it fits. Fits well. A little tight fit, but just right. Wow, looks great. I love it. Real clean. So as you can see, pretty flush there. Sits right between the 80-20. Still gonna finish it, hit it with butcher block, but yeah, fits real nice. And then we got the panel retainers underneath. I'm gonna go ahead and mark out with a Sharpie. I'm gonna go below, or a hole punch, and I'm gonna hit all these holes. I gotta drill these holes, and then I'm gonna go on top, and then I'm going to countersink them on top. So you'll see 4 screws here. Yeah, it should be plenty. It's really strong, so I don't think I'll have any more than 100 pounds on this thing. So it should be plenty strong. Yeah, looking great. I'm pumped. So guys, I went ahead and marked all those panel retainers, the holes. These are going to be for the 1/4-20 flathead screws. I'm going to go ahead and drill a small hole from this side, flip it over, and then I'm going to countersink it, and then I'll take the final hole down to a 1/4, just so that this doesn't splinter. I'm going to go ahead and knock that out now. So for the most accuracy, we're going to use the hole punch. So I'm starting with the 9/64 drill bit from the back side. Then we're going to flip it, and we are going to countersink it with this guy from the front side, and then we're going to check our depth for the 3/4. Now we flipped it, gonna go ahead and take it to the final size of a quarter here. And remember guys, this is bamboo, so it's a very hard wood. When you start your drill, you kind of want to go slow. You don't want to have too much speed on it. You got to let it cut and grab. And then we're going to be using that countersink, so that's going to clean up. So you can see that's a very slow cut speed. That's a fast cut speed, more splintering. So again, try to keep that drill slow. We're gonna try slow. We wanna cut it and don't feed too hard. Now we're gonna go in and we're gonna countersink these. So for mine, I want a 1/2 inch, so I don't want to go past here. So what I'm going to do is probably grab myself a Sharpie. And I'm going to mark the depth here so I don't counterbore past it. So this is 1/2 inch. And this is a 1/2 inch head there. I want this to be nice and flat here, so I don't want to go too deep. I don't want it to be too deep. I don't want it to be above the surface. I want it to be just perfect. So we'll give that a shot. So I went to the first one, yep, not deep enough. Let's take it down to 1/2. So as you can see, that's just the right depth there. So we're gonna go ahead and hit the rest. Guys, remember to mark which piece. So this is the top front, just so you make sure all your holes line up. So we're gonna go ahead and check. We're gonna dry fit this, make sure everything's fitting properly before we go and do the butcher block on it, oil it up, and then finish up the project. Just gotta make sure everything fits here nice. So guys, I went ahead and test fitted everything. All my holes lined up very nice. super sturdy. We're gonna go ahead and finish up and butcher block these bamboo plies here. Give them a light little sand with 220 grit, and then we're gonna hit it with the butcher block. Guys, now I'm using 220 grit. I'm just breaking down the edge. I'm not gonna router this one. I just wanna break down the edge just a bit. And the back side, I'm gonna router just a little bit. I just don't want to router the front side because this is gonna be flush with that 80-20. I want to make sure that I don't have a little dip in between the 80-20. Alright guys, we got all the bamboo prepped up. We hit it with 200 grit sandpaper. We're going to do just as we did in part 1. We're going to use some of this butcher block oil and finish. We're going to do 2 coats. We're going to do the first coat now. Again, you guys don't want to apply this too heavy, pretty light coat. Go with the grain. So we're going to let this cure for 6 hours, or in my case overnight, and then we're going to hit it in the morning. We'll do a light sanding of 400 grit sandpaper, real light, do another coating, then we're going to flip it over and then do the same thing, 2 coats, real light. Alright, what's up guys? So today we got our bamboo all oiled up. We're going to go ahead and get these installed in Tacoma here. Alright guys, we just finished putting our bamboo tops on here. They came out really clean, real nice. They match the 60% delete over there. Nice big shelf here. And then underneath here too as well. Lots of space, put a toolbox, still get into this bottom compartment. I might end up putting a drawer down here and closing this in. We're gonna see. And then I might end up putting some custom like 1/4" hex ply backing around the edges here with maybe some moly, CNC cut moly plate in it, just to keep, you know, if I put stuff in here, I'll be able to, you know, mount it to it and make sure nothing falls off. And then this I'll keep open. In the back, yeah, it came out amazing. I'm really liking it. I'll show you guys from the other side.